The end of fake woke material. See, it is not in their interest to let that merger go through.
We'll see by 2026 because that's the deadline.
We will see.
Because right now we're arguing
over nothing that's proven. Because it's because everything on paper says Netflix is buying Warner Brothers.
Yes,
but I
know we're not. You're just stupid superpower. So we'll wait until the end of 2026.
And Paramount,
we can't do that.
It is a superpower. I told you I'm a mutant.
Because no, I'm learning. I'm not going to argue shit that's stupid. We're not. It doesn't mean.
Yeah, you don't have your facts yet.
No, there's nothing factual.
JODYDAMUS is not about facts. It's about what will be.
Jesus comes back soon, nigga. That's a belief too.
JODYDAMUS is.
I don't want to argue it.
I know it's okay. It's okay. You don't have to.
However,
I feel like.
Let me question is what the fuck you gonna have to say when the shit goes through? I was wrong.
What
I would love to hear that.
Oh yes, if it goes through, I would say so.
And then Hollywood's dead, but that would be a following video.
But it's not.
No, if it doesn't go through,
but it's told you what I came to. I've been making my way up to what I aim to. They love to just hate you. This the corner son. Wonder Woman ain't the only one. Fucking with the diamonds. Hey.
Kathleen Kennedy, the enemy.
She ain't got the recipe.
She
washed out.
Who the boss now? YouTube was good. It's your boy Jody Jones.
Ball it up, call it trash. Fanboys stay mad.
JODYDAMUS. Remember what you guys are asking for when you're promoting something like Netflix acquiring Warner Brothers Discovery, because the head of Netflix, Ted Sarandos, I believe his name is, testified on Capitol Hill and got pressed by some of the politicians. And he 100%, as soon as he won the bid for Warner Brothers, he said that he is not going to live by the 45-day theatrical window. What does that mean? In the pandemic, during the pandemic, theaters were closed. All of these companies were losing hundreds of millions of dollars. They had to figure out a resolution because streaming was just now coming a thing. Disney Plus launched in 2020, if I'm not mistaken. I think HBO Max launched in 2021.
They all launched. Yeah, they all launched.
So when the pandemic hit, everybody threw a streaming service out. So they're like, hey, all of these movies that we've been making over the last year, let's not just sit on them, throw them on the streaming service and have people subscribe. And all the theaters were like, how do we make this happen? And the studios made a deal with the theaters and with the VOD that if you release a film in the future, in theaters, you have to keep it in theaters for 45 days before it hits streaming. Now, I'm not talking about streaming like Netflix. I'm talking about streaming like VOD. Amazon is video on demand, which means that you can buy it digitally. You could pay for it. Like Superman would come out and 45 days later, well, actually, Superman is a bad example because they did less than 45 days. For a typical like Fantastic Four movie, right? Fantastic Four came out, 45 days later, it was available for you to purchase digitally through video on demand, which means you'll pay $20 or $30 for the digital copy. That was the deal that was made in the pandemic. Ted Sarandos a couple months ago said, we're not doing that. If we choose to release a movie in theaters, we could put it on our streaming service 1 day, 2 days, a week, 2 weeks later.
Oh, hell
So imagine
no.
that.
Yeah, no.
Imagine your new, let's just throw something out there. No. Imagine that they bought Warner Brothers and the new Harry Potter reboot came out. The new Harry Potter reboot, Theo Radcliffe is coming back as a teacher and all the other ones are coming back as teachers.
Harry and all of them.
Yeah.
Hermione.
What's the name of the girl that played Beauty and the Beast?
Hermione.
Emma Stone?
Yeah.
Is her name Emma Stone?
Yeah, but her character name is Hermione.
Emma Watson.
Yeah, her name, but in the show, her name is Hermione.
Okay, yeah. Emma Watson's back, and they're teachers, and they're teaching the new generations, right? And they release it in theaters. Netflix releases it on June 1st, 2029. Everybody's excited. They all rush to the theater, and then they announce, in theaters June 1st, on Netflix June 9th.
That's bullshit. That's some crap.
Who the hell is going to go? Very few people are going to go to the theater. They're going to wait a week, and they're going to watch it on stream.
Why do I got to pay for this? I could just watch it on Netflix. I'm already paying for Netflix anyway.
Imagine that.
Yeah.
So that's bad for Hollywood because the directors who make those movies, the PA, the key grip, the producers, the EPs, the visual effects artists, all of the people who work hard to see their film in theaters on the big screen feel like they got slapped in the face. The beginning of this was done with Warner Brothers. The beginning of the end of this deal. I need you guys to understand where this comes from. How did Warner Brothers get up for sale? It all goes back down to Zack Snyder's era of the Snyderverse. AT&T created Warner Media when they purchased Time Warner. Warner Media in 2000 and I believe they were bought. Matter of fact, I have a graphic to show you guys. Look at this graphic here. Look at all the way to the first one. In the year 2000, AOL merged with Time Warner for $162 billion. You understand? AOL, Time Warner merged in a $162 billion deal. Now that was in 2000. That is well over $250 billion today. That was in 2000. If you do inflation, that number is a whole lot bigger. So that is a massive deal. If you think that if you look at the end, $111 billion, look at the very last one. That is what Paramount bought Warner Brothers for. $111 billion in 2025. Look what it first got bought for in 2000. $162 billion. That's over $250 billion then and today. Do you think this deal's big? No. That deal in 2000 was massive. So before you guys scream to the heavens about how big this deal and how unprecedented it is and how, universe, world, Hollywood shifting it is, understand that this happened before multiple times in the past and they were much bigger deals. If you understand who AOL was back in the day, they were huge. And Time Warner, gigantic. So fast forward all the way to 2015, AT&T buys Time Warner, and they bought it for $85 billion. What the hell is a telecommunications company like AT&T buying a media conglomerate when you know nothing about media? What do you know about making films, AT&T? Nothing. But they decided it'll be an advancement, so they bought it. Look at that time base. 2015. Why did they buy it? Well, because around that time, Kevin Tsuchihara was the old head of Warner Brothers. Kevin Tsuchihara was getting canceled for having sex with some of the people that he was working with. Some of his underlings, secretaries, something like that. Yeah. So Kevin Tsuchihara was going to get canceled. He wanted to sell before all of the news broke out and everybody was going to make the value
company
low.
Go down.
85 billion is pretty low. So he wanted to hurry up and get the hell out of there. The Snyderverse was doing poorly, to say the least. This is around 2015, 2016. The BVS came out in 2016, was a failure. Justice League failed, and that was in 2017. Man of Steel did decent. Suicide Squad did decent, but people hated it. So the sale was made. Let's get the hell out of here, bro. And ever since then, after Justice League, because after this merger, we had BVS, Suicide Squad, Wonder Woman, Aquaman, and Justice League.
Yep.
Those were the 5 movies that came out after this merger. Kevin Tsuchihara basically gave the keys and trickled it down to one Zack Snyder. Okay? From this point moving forward, from 2015, I need you to understand this is the Snyderverse, okay? From 2015 to 2020 was mostly the Snyder era, okay? Look at 2020. Warner Brothers and Discovery merged. Look at how little money that merger went for. A measly $43 billion. Why? That's what happens when you release films and you hurt the stock and the product of a franchise. DC's stock was at an all-time low because what do we have? A bunch of failing movies. Some of the movies made money, but the perception of them were so bad that no one gave a shit.
Companies didn't want to back them. Companies didn't want to
buy them. Companies didn't want to buy them. So the Snyderverse was in shambles. Then Hamada came in and tried to revitalize what was there. Flash flopped. Black Adam didn't do well. Black Adam pretty much flopped. And the only real successes in that 5-year span were Wonder Woman and Aquaman.
Yep.
Like successes, which means they made money and the people loved them. It was Wonder Woman, Aquaman. Wonder Woman and Aquaman are the two DCEU movies that are nothing like the Snyderverse. They're more like Hamada stuff, but Hamada stuff didn't work. The Joss Whedon, the Snyder Cut came. It was horrible. But in 2020 is when the pandemic hit. Theaters shut down on March 15th, 2020. That's when they said shutting down theaters. That's when the pandemic hit us, and we're shutting it down, guys. And it is right around that time that AT&T decided we're going to launch this streaming service. And 1 year later, I believe it was in 2021, they released HBO Max and they released the Snyder Cut. They paid $100 million for it. They made the movie, released it, and it didn't even do numbers. Nobody gave a shit outside of the Snyderverse. It didn't even chart well. So that was another L. So now we're sitting back from 2020 to 2025. Netflix comes in with their bid for Warner Brothers at $83 billion, but the final bid has been won. Now we're at today's date. Paramount sweetened the bid to $111 billion. How can something like this happen when Netflix had it in the bag? It was already in the bag. A lot of things can happen in a few days, but you know, if you're me, I've always said it. It's a deal. Paramount and Warner Brothers unveil a $111 billion merger. The two companies formally unveiled the deal on Friday after Netflix formally bowed out of the running a day earlier. Paramount mogul David Ellison, he said, "From the very beginning, our pursuit of Warner Brothers Discovery has been guided by a clear purpose: to honor the legacy of two iconic companies while accelerating our vision of building a next-generation media and entertainment company. By bringing together these world-class studios, our complementary streaming platforms, and an extraordinary talent behind them, we will create even greater value for our audiences, partners, and shareholders, and we couldn't be more excited for what's ahead." Warner Brothers CEO David Zaslav said, "I'm very pleased with the outcome we've achieved for Warner Brothers Discovery shareholders and the entertainment industry. Our guiding principle throughout this process has been to secure a transaction that maximizes the value of our iconic assets and our centuries-old studio while delivering as much certainty as possible for our investors. We look forward to working with Paramount to complete this historic transaction." A historic transaction for sure. How did they do it? Well, they increased the per share bid to some $31 per share. It also had other elements, including a ticking fee payable to shareholders equal to 25 cents per quarter beginning after September 30th, 2026, as well as a $7 billion regulatory termination in the event that the transaction does not close due to regulatory matters. Regulatory matters, what does that mean? The FCC, the government, they have to push these companies through. I believe that a merger was blocked. T-Mobile and Sprint, I believe they tried to
back
come
in
together.
the day, and then
the government
T-Mobile came back.
The government blocked it.
Yeah.
They said no, we're not doing that. It was one of those telecommunication companies tried to merge, and they said hell no. I think AT&T tried to get T-Mobile maybe, and they blocked it.
Yeah,
so
AT&T.
You need to get government approval. Here is where Ellison, who's backing Paramount, and Donald Trump, the Trump administration, comes in. Donald Trump and Ellison, they're tight. They're homies. And that's nothing to worry about because this deal was already greenlit to happen prior to this bid going through. So that actually will not be a problem. The regulatory matters for that. The ticking fee means that the price of Warner Brothers will rise the longer the regulatory process takes. For example, I believe they said that this deal will close by October, November. They're saying that this thing is going to be done within 6 months. So what happens is 25 cents per share. If it takes, it's a ticking value. So you're going to get 25 cents per share past September 30th, 2026. Beginning after September 30th. So after September 30th, 25 cents per share. I think, is it per share per day? That's like a penalty, right? They could get a lot more money. So if it takes them too long, they're going to end up paying for that. This deal is going to swell well past $111 billion. So the shareholders have that like ace in their pocket. Like, okay, so I get $31 per share. And if after September 30th, the deal isn't still done, I'm getting 25 cents per tick after that. Oh yeah, sweeten that, baby. Give it to me. At the end of the day, if the deal doesn't get done in time, let's say it takes them to March 2027, hell, that freaking deal could be $150 billion for all we know. And then these shareholders got even more money in their pocket.
So they playing the waiting game. They loving playing this.
They would love the waiting game. This makes them feel better about if it takes longer, we're gonna pay you for it.
Yeah, because we're gonna get paid more.
It's basically interest.
Gotcha.
If I loan you $500 and I say I'll pay you back on February 1st, you say okay. But then I give you, but no, say I'll pay you back February 1st. You're like, I don't know. And then I say, okay, well, let me sweeten the deal, E-Man. I'll pay you for the $500 back on February 1st. Mm-hmm. And I'll add another $300 to that if I don't pay you until after February 7th, but before March.
Got you.
You're like, oh, shoot. All right.
Yeah.
So that's to give you a little bit more confidence. Yeah. All right, let's move on to the article. The deal was backed by here's where the money comes from, okay? Let's break this down. Where's the backing come from? Where do you get $111 billion from? A lot of places. The deal was backed by $47 billion in equity commitments from the Ellison family and Redbird Capital, okay? $54 more billion in debt financing from Bank of America, Citigroup, and Apollo. So we got these banks, a company with the Ellisons in their company. Added to that, we have others financial and strategic partners, right? Though it did not disclose those partners, undisclosed partners who are involved here. Previous bids including funding from the Middle East Sovereign Wealth Funds, Tencent, and Jared Kushner's affinity partners. Saudi Arabians are involved somehow.
Diamonds.
Yes. Yeah. Look at what this. The company expects the deal to close in Q3 of this year, suggesting an aggressive timetable, underscoring its regulatory confidence. They have confidence that this deal is going to get done. Here's where Trump, Ellison, and the presidential cabinet are very much backing this deal and going to sell it through. This will be arguably the biggest merger and fastest merger of all time. Q3, we're in Q1. We're in Q1, and by Q3, the deal is going to be done. A deal this size, wow, they're pushing it through. They want this thing to happen. Paramount also has paid $2.8 billion termination fee that Warner Brothers was required to pay to Netflix to abandon its signed deal. While the new deal will require Warner Brothers to pay Paramount $3 billion if it backs out of the deal in favor of a better offer. All right, so it says, in announcing the deal officially, Paramount made some commitments meant to assuage concerns from the town. For starters, the company says it will maintain both Paramount and Warner Brothers as independent studios, with a commitment of 15 films for each year, with a full 45-day windows before going to premium VOD, with longer windows for hit films. Sinners, let's use them for example.
Okay.
Senators, you get to 45-day window. But Sinners was so good and people were watching it, they extended it. Let's give you 50 and 60 days.
Yeah.
If a movie is big and doing well, we're not going to just throw you to VOD. We're going to keep that shit in theaters so more people could see it in theaters as possible. This is great if you like going to the movies. And it's also great for the people who make
the filmmakers,
movies.
Yeah.
Filmmakers.
The
your
writers,
James Camerons.
Yeah.
Your Christopher Nolans.
Yeah.
These people, Denis Villeneuve, these people, this is great news for them. It's great news for the people behind the scenes who create these movies. It's good for Hollywood. These people that have to pay their mortgages. These people that have to pay their kids through college and pay to get their shit, eat their rent. It's good for all of those people that make these movies happen, okay? The companies continue selling its programming to third parties, but it said 15 movies, 15 films, from each year. Paramount's going to release 15 movies a year. Warner Brothers, 15. 30 movies a year. With
they ain't
this
playing
merger.
No games.
They've committed to 30 movies. It ain't nothing but 12 months in a year. Times 3 is 36. So you're getting 2.5, a little bit over 2.5 movies per month from these companies.
I like the sound of that, though.
It's incredible. We love to hear it. But you're going to be even more excited because you would ask yourself, how are you going to release 30 movies a year? Like, you can't make that. You don't have the IP to make that. Huh? You show? After this merger, yes, they do. Oh, yes, they do. In fact, let me go ahead and show you that graphic now. These are some of the networks and channels and ultimate franchises that will be owned under one umbrella after the deal closes. This is what we have to look at, ladies and gentlemen. Let's take a closer look. Companies, what? Skydance, TikTok.
Well, TikTok
had to be sold to an American company or the Trump administration was going to banish it from this country.
Wow.
It was owned by China. TikTok was a Chinese company owned by China, and China spies on us.
Right.
So they said, sell to an American company, Ellison's, or get the hell out of our country. They sold Ellison's. They got it, and now TikTok is us. All right. TikTok, Fandango, Rotten Tomatoes, DC Studios, Oracle, HBO, CNN, oh boy,
I didn't know
CBS, Showtime, TBS, Comedy Central, TNT, Paramount Plus, TLC, HGTV, Nickelodeon, Bleacher Report, Cartoon Network. Wait a minute.
Boomerang!
Rewind that. Hold on. Does that say Nickelodeon?
It does.
Does that say Cartoon Network?
Yes, it does.
Is that all of the all-time great cartoons ever made?
And Boomerang.
Boomerang is a part of Nickelodeon. That's classic Nickelodeon. Bro. Nickelodeon and Cartoon Network are a part of one company now.
Oh my God. That's fire, bro. I see my childhood all over. Oh my. We need original cartoons back.
That means Animal Planet, CBS, Adult Swim, HBO Max. There's your Boomerang, Cinemax, Cooking, Pluto, Discovery, Food Network, Science, CW, Travel, BET, MTV, and VH1.
MTV.
But here's the franchises we can expect to see too, though. Let's go ahead and scroll up. Harry Potter, Mad Max, The Conjuring movies, The Matrix, It, Lord of the Rings, Gremlins, Mission Impossible, Nightmare on Elm Street, Game of Thrones, True Detective, The Sopranos, The Wire, Mortal Kombat, Transformers, all of the Justice League. Look at all the DC stuff. Yellowstone, Star Trek, A Quiet Place, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, Paranormal Activity, Cloverfield, G.I. Joe, Rugrats, Avatar, Garfield, Jimmy Neutron, Blue's Clues, Sonic, Top Gun, Scooby-Doo, SpongeBob. Look at all these stuff, bro.
Jackass.
All of these amazing cartoons, all of these amazing franchises under one roof. This is the type of... a lot of you guys have been really excited about the other conglomerate that came together. And you guys know what I'm talking about when I say the other conglomerate, don't you? Yeah, we'll talk about that a little bit later, but let's go ahead and dive back up into this article. Paramount reiterated its estimate that it could yield $6 billion in synergies. Here's where they're talking about shaving and trimming some of the fat. So they're wondering, of course Hollywood is bracing itself for substantial layoffs following the close of the deal, though the announcement also suggests that other notable assets may be sold. Warner Brothers is a world-class organization, and we want to thank David Zaslav, blah, 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 blah. We believe that we would have been a strong stewards of Warner Brothers. This is the Ted Sarandos talking, by the way, the guy who missed out on Netflix deal. Yeah, he says, we believe we would have been strong stewards of Warner Brothers' iconic brands, and that our deal would have strengthened the entertainment industry and preserved and created more production jobs in the United States. But this transaction was always a nice to have at the right price, not a must have at any price. Here's the Sarandos guy talking his shit, trying to take whatever he can while he has his tail tucked out the freaking door. Guys, there's no way that Netflix would have did what's right, what's great for Warner Brothers and these IP. There's no way. A Top Gun on Netflix, dude, miss me.
We would have lost Tom Cruise. Tom Cruise would have left. Tom Cruise don't do streaming. He would have left, like, completely. He said off tops that he only do film. Nothing but film. So yes. Tom Cruise, we'd have lost a lot of big actors and even directors don't want to do it. I mean, there's some good about Netflix. Netflix allow creators to be creators to an extent. However, Netflix also, as he said, has an agenda. We're tired of that. Just like I'm tired of seeing woman empowered. I'm tired of seeing the LGBTQ plus. Don't get me wrong. It's fine to an extent, but it's oversaturated. I don't want to see that, especially at DC. I don't like some of the things that they already have in the comic books, and I can see Netflix actually.
What's the number one problem with Hollywood?
Agenda.
Now it's gone.
Agenda.
Now it's gone.
It's already a problem on HBO Max. It's a fucking agenda. We can't even watch stuff like that. But if Paramount could get rid of the bullshit that I saw, like fucking what is that? That Russian movie, that sports shit, that The Last of Us, I'm with it.
Listen, guys, there's no way that the progression that we've made will just wipe and go away. We don't want it to go away. I'm fine with gay characters in my movies. Hell, I'm willing to go as fine as a transsexual in my movies. I don't care. If you make it a good part of the story where I can feel from it. I'm gonna point you to the Last of Us season 2, the episode where the two gay men were in love. I cried to that because it was beautiful. It was well written. I talked about this with my Discord yesterday. That's a story that was beautifully and well written. That even though it was about homosexuals, that I enjoyed it. I loved it. But that's not what Netflix is. They're not about making you feel anything. They're about just throwing in, let me get an Asian, a black, a gay, a trans. Let me make sure that the man is weak, the woman is strong. That's out. That's miss me with that, bro. Oh, let's go ahead and show this sexuality to these kids. Guys, Netflix, if streaming services were people, Netflix will be in the Epstein files.
Netflix and Disney.
If streaming services were people, Hulu's a person. I know the homie Hulu. Hulu tight. HBO Max is my dog. Oh yeah, Paramount doing this thing. Oh, Disney kind of weird. Netflix kind of weird. And then the freaking Epstein files come out. You know Disney and Netflix gonna be in them files.
Facts. The Mickey Mouse hiding right now. Oh, they're coming to get me.
Yeah. So like, their type of ideology is the ideology that has warped our society and made us soft.
Yep.
Netflix ideology is to make us weaker, mind numb us, change us, turn us into gooey soy boy sissies.
Not men.
And they're trying to turn our feminine, soft, amazing, beautiful women into butch, man-beaten, brolic dudes.
Disrespectful as hell.
They're trying to make our children more susceptible to sex and their sexuality. They're trying to make 5, 6, 7, 8-year-olds question their sexuality. This is not the type of society that I want to be a part of. This is not the type of content that I necessarily want to see. Not because of having gay or trans characters like I talked about in itself. It's because Netflix only cares about these things. They don't care about the quality of film. They don't care about making good art. They only care about the agenda. They care about, oh man, that's a great director. What is she? Is she white? Is she black? Oh, her name is Nakia. So what does that mean? Her name is Nakia Johnson. What does that mean? Like, what is her color?
What is her race?
Her name is Nakia Johnson and she has cornrows. Okay, like I'm just having a hard time understanding. Can you just stop telling and just tell me who, like, what they are? They're black. Okay, then why didn't you just say that? I told you her name was Nakia Johnson. Are you trying to like stereotype her? Like I'm not. I'm sick of that shit.
Yeah.
Netflix are the Karens of society, bro.
Ours.
Netflix are the Karens of society. And you wanted DC, Top Gun, Harry Potter. Look what they did. What they trying to do to Harry Potter right now?
They're trying to make
wasn't one of them fools black?
Not Sirius Black. Snape.
They're
trying to make Snake black and gay.
Hey, and you know
I'm not with that. I'm not.
If you could put somebody in 2 boxes, the better. If we get a black person, great. If you could make them black and gay, ding ding. Now we winning.
I feel like they look more for the sexuality part, bro. Oh,
all right. See, there you go.
The race. Are they gay?
Sure.
Are they
so there's the Snape stuff. That's whack. What did they do with Lord of the Rings, Amazon? How did they do Lord of the Rings? Threw that shit into the goddamn ground, didn't it? Fans pissed off. Fans are pissed off at that Lord of the Rings television show, ain't they? Because when you use agenda and you have that and you DI all that bullshit, the film quality suffers. Let me reiterate. When the pandemic hit and every studio was throwing their stuff day and date, like Warner Brothers on HBO Max, throwing King Kong on a streaming, throwing Wonder Woman 84 to streaming, throwing Black Klansman to streaming, throwing these movies to streaming that deserve the theatrical, when freaking Disney was throwing Eternals to streaming and throwing Encanto to streaming, these movies that deserve theatrical. When Universal said, hey, we're going to throw freaking Fast and Furious on streaming, I don't give a shit. When they were doing all this stuff, it was Paramount. Remember, it was Paramount that said, no, I'm not releasing Top Gun Maverick on streaming. Tom, we're going to wait. He said, yeah, that's right. Shoot! That don't say 600.
It say 600, big dog.
No, that she says 60.
Nah, bro. It say 600, bro.
I'm cross-eyed. That don't say 600. That don't say 600.
That say 600, big
that don't
dog.
say chat. That don't say 600. Chat. What that say? Oh, 600. Oh, kill me.
Shout out to Dante, y'all. Shout out to Dante. Show
Bro, where the
Dante
liquor
some
at,
love
my
in
nigga?
here, man.
We ain't got no booze.
Nah.
We ain't got no freaking booze. Everybody was saying that Netflix is the win, and I pretty much told you why I think that it was the bad mistake. But I gotta do a little bit of a flex right now, because it was December 10th when I put out a specific tweet, and here's the tweet here. Paramount will own Warner Brothers Discovery, not Netflix. Look at the timestamp. I sent it at 10:19 in the morning on December 10th, 2025. It's right there. Paramount. This was when all the news was already out about Netflix is going to be the win. They won. Netflix is owning it. Yeah, they're moving forward. Deal signed. The world was like reacting it. I said no. This is where my JODYDAMUS comes into effect. Because we can't restore the Snyderverse.
Facts.
We can't let Hollywood go down the toilet in disarray.
Facts.
Hell nah. I have this mutant ability. I'm a mutant. And this mutant ability enables me to predict the future. That's why I put this tweet out.
There are homo superiors that exist on this earth right now.
How does that happen?
Through birth, through God, through government agency, I don't know, but they exist. You're one of them. That's why I'm calling in, because you're one of them. You don't even know who you are. You haven't even identified yourself yet, but you belong to a greater spectrum of just knowledge, man. And you don't even know it. So you think that you were so right for so long about everything and everything and everything and everything. And then it's like, it's not a coincidence, Jody. You're special, man. You do have a different genome than most humans do.
So you think it's like a literal sense, not figuratively? Like it's a real
Yes,
thing.
it's not figurative. Yes, it's real.
Last year, guys, on December 10th, when the news announced, oh, Warner Brothers got it, it's over, I said Paramount will own Warner Brothers, not Netflix. And here's the person. His name is Irvin Cruz, right? You see that guy? His name is 5-Star. He's in my Discord. He responded with this. Let's get you back in your room, old man. Come on. You don't know what you're talking about. How you feel now, 5-Star? I went into the Discord to press him, and he bitched out. He couldn't even admit that he took the L. But that's okay. If a member of my own Discord can admit to taking the L, why would I expect subscribers to take an L? But let me just show you and take you through a little example of a week ago. Here's what I said. It's already over, Keon.
No,
they
wait.
moved on.
Wait,
now they're back at the negotiating table.
That's not what's happening right now. Would you like to know what's happening right now?
I know what's happening, but tell me what you think is happening.
So right now they have 7 days to come up with a final offer, because March the 20th,
another final offer
by Paramount.
another final offer from the final
Paramount.
offer from 2 months ago.
From Paramount. They the motherfuckers put 9 bids. You can go back.
But then
and
they
look.
stopped bidding. Then the bid stopped
This is
because
not-
Netflix
this-
said
not after
we're done. Netflix is not matching any offer as far as a month and a half ago because Netflix said we're no longer negotiating. We're moving forward with the sale. Warner Brothers is the ones who agreed about a month and a half ago to end offers and stop taking offers from Paramount. And I find it funny how you said now that Netflix is going to have the option to match the offer. What do you mean? Because last time I checked, Paramount offered more money than Netflix. And even though Paramount offered more money than Netflix, they still said we're taking Netflix's deal. So what you said is disingenuous. Do you remember that Netflix won the bid, right? Mm-hmm. And they won it and they rejected it twice, multiple times over. Then Paramount said, all right, Netflix, these numbers are a little bit different. Don't judge me on the numbers. Netflix said, all right, 80 billion straight up. Then Paramount came up with an astronomical number. I think it was like 108 billion. I'll beat you by 30 billion. And then Netflix said, then Warner Brothers shareholders said, nah, we're going to stay with the 80 billion from Netflix. Now I'm thinking about why would Warner Brothers shareholders ride with 80 billion and ignore 38 more billion? That's when the negotiations were over. But then a couple of weeks ago, we had a topic about this, and I told you Netflix then came further. So there was negotiations happening without us knowing, but I'm knowing what's going on. I know what's going to happen.
And hounds in the back.
So then, and then Netflix came out of nowhere and said 100 billion all cash. You don't come with an all cash offer or change your previous negotiation unless you're getting pressure from Paramount and the Saudis to make the best deal. So even though they're saying this is the final, the narrative that from the media that you're running with, final bid. The final bid was 2 months ago, bro. That was the final bid. But now there's a final. And then when this one's final, in a month, when they say a final, when is it going to stop? When are you going to just see clearly that the administration is in the backing of Paramount, that Trump could say what the hell he want? He is going to involve himself. The Ellisons will end up getting backed by the Saudis in a very big way.
They won't either.
And then Warner Brothers will be sold to Paramount at the end of the day. Wow. Dang, that's incredible. Incredible foresight. But there is more. This was on January 29th. This video here, January 29th. Here's what I'm saying. I'm saying something completely different than probably what y'all... Trump and his homies are not about to let that deal go through. Trump and his homies are not about to let that deal go through.
But right now...
They're going to block it.
See, you don't follow politics. So
okay, go ahead. I don't follow
but the point
is,
is,
how you know, motherfucker?
Because at the point, right now, the deal is looking positive because Trump pissed off the dad that fucking the billionaire daddy that's apparently supposed to stop the deal that they're relying on. Trump is mad at him for some shit that he didn't do.
So we're fucked.
So it's some politics shit.
No, absolutely not. It is not in the interest of Hollywood and the interest of people who want anti-fake woke material. The end of fake woke material. See, it is not in their interest to let that merger go through.
We'll see by 2026 because that's the deadline.
We will see.
Because right now we're arguing
over nothing that's proven. Because because everything on paper says Netflix is buying Warner Brothers.
Yes,
but I
know we're not. You're just stupid superpower. So we'll wait until the end of 2026.
And right now,
we can't do that.
It is a superpower. I told you I'm a mutant.
Because I'm learning. I'm not going to argue shit that's stupid. We're not. It doesn't mean
you don't have your facts yet.
No, there's nothing factual to argue.
JODYDAMUS is not about facts. It's about what will be.
Jesus comes back soon, nigga. That's a belief too.
JODYDAMUS is.
I don't want to argue it.
I know it's okay. It's okay. You don't have to.
But however,
I feel like.
Let me question is what the fuck you gonna have to say when the shit goes through? I was wrong.
What
I would love to hear that.
Oh yes, if it goes through, I would say so.
And then Hollywood's dead because that'll be a following video.
But it's not going
through. If it doesn't go through,
but it's going to go.
But if it doesn't go through, who will get it though?
JODYDAMUS. Do you see how convicted I am? I'm not sweating it a bit. I know it's not going through.
Yeah.
I knew as if the sun's coming up tomorrow. That's insane to say, but I just That's
You
what
predicted it.
JODYDAMUS
Yeah,
is.
You predicted it.
You're saying the impossible. Jody, what are you talking about? It's not going to go through. I'm looking at myself with such conviction. This stupid mutant power I have.
Calm as hell.
Yeah.
Not even, yeah, super calm. Like,
You got your stupid superpower. Let's get back to the video. Let's revisit. Oh, yes. If it goes through, I would say
And
so.
then Hollywood's dead.
But
Because
it's
that'll
not
be your
going
following
through.
video.
But it's not
no,
going
Netflix
through.
if it doesn't
is
go
doing their
through,
thing. If
but
it
it's
don't-
not.
but if it doesn't
Yeah,
go through,
so
there we
who
go.
will get it though? Paramount is already
JODYDAMUS. JODYDAMUS is relatively undefeated, and it is my mutant ability.
Hey, we gotta beat this nigga, bro. This
Bro,
nigga,
like, I don't
bro.
want to see this. So,
Why you want to beat me,
So-
Flash?
so we got it.
Give in
So-
to the
so-
Damas.
so I'm
already,
gonna-
no. He already up with the freaking Fantastic Four shit. He was that's another, and then
I never
he loved it.
JODYDAMUS that Fantastic Four was going to be trash. I just called it trash because it's trash. Even though the movie's great, Fantastic Four suck as a team,
It did
as an IP. I still don't come off that, but that movie is great.
Paramount is still we still got a situation with that, and I'm saying that
You
because
heard the little lag where his brain reset?
no,
What to say now? Freak it.
Then we gonna talk back.
like if Netflix does not get DC, who's going to get it? Because Paramount is already going.
we can't argue that because
And I want Paramount to get it.
right now, the slate is Netflix is going to get them.
How
you
many
arguing that is not what's happening in the next year.
It's arguable.
Brother,
because
2026.
because
no,
it probably
they
can
have
happen
until
this year.
2026. Yes.
Probably
the
can.
I know.
the family put like 9 bids,
They
nine
put
different
9
attempts.
bids of $100 billion.
Because
And then
they're-
you can
that-
They bet it. The shareholders tonight
Ruby.
$100 billion all cash because the issue is Paramount want to own all of
it
Warner
wasn't
Brothers.
initially all cash, was it?
No, they didn't. That was
Paramount forced Netflix hand to change their deal, didn't they?
They did. Is that on not?
Yeah, when they got them
Netflix can't-
rubies. When they got them
Let-
rubies.
check,
that's why.
check it though, Keon.
Saying-
They sat back and they said, Netflix is keeping it. We're doing it. We're doing it. Paramount kept doing bid after bid, kept getting rejected. And then Netflix says, you know what?
I say if
All
you want
cash.
The best information.
Netflix said, all cash.
I say if you want the
That
best.
if Netflix didn't believe that Paramount didn't have sway, they never would have did an all cash
it's
deal.
a bit. See, when the deal goes, we'll wait till the deal.
Flash,
Because
am I
that's
wrong?
right for you.
Yeah, you ain't lying.
All right.
Their job,
Cash-
Warner Brothers.
Cash just changed everything.
Warner Brothers' job is to get the.
What they
best
say about
possible
cash?
for them.
Cash make the coochie go woo woo.
It does.
I'm
Keon.
not saying that he's wrong. Warner Brothers' job
Cash?
is to get. It's retarded. Nigga.
over.
The nigga Cash is. You know what? I'm done. I don't care. I don't.
there
I
you
don't
go.
care. Just move on. I don't care. Move on. I'm not dealing. I don't,
It's about
I don't,
being fun.
I'm not having
You're
a
getting
smart
frustrated.
conversation with a retarded nigga right now. I'm not
Don't have it with him.
Nigga, he's pissing me off.
With me.
All of this, y'all of you niggas.
I
You
was
and
gonna
him.
say myself,
Both of y'all
Flash.
niggas. I'm not doing it. Well, wait till October. Hey, nigga. If it goes through, it goes through. But wait till November.
But there's no fun in that,
No,
Keon.
I'm
There's
not having fun. I don't want to have fun with shit like that. No, it ain't no fun.
He's done.
That's stupid. No,
He's done.
I don't want to do it.
Okay, all right.
You play with him.
I don't
play with his dick.
So
with
I'll
that.
just.
Play with his what?
What?
You heard what the fuck I said.
I
No,
did not.
I didn't.
play with his dick with that shit. Y'all two fuck around with that.
Why are you so?
That's what y'all, we was
Why
all
are you
going on
upset?
about it. What you getting mad for?
Oh my God.
We all talking about
Yeah, I'm just.
Ain't no we all. Nigga. You're not. You haven't said shit since this topic started. Nigga. You don't know what's going on.
He actually said something. He said that
You
his, he
know
get his
what?
back broke.
Keon crashed out. You piss him off a lot, even
That's why I
with
don't
your
fuck with him
ignorance.
like that, bro.
What?
I don't fuck, I mean, we cool, but I don't fuck with him like that.
You
You been insulting and see me and shit. I was just saying the fact of like, bro,
Yeah.
we all wanted at Paramount. He got mad. He was already getting upset. You talk to this retarded motherfucker, like, and then he
He be
say
mad.
that I started insulting him. He insulted me. I didn't say shit to this man.
Right.
I'm talking, trying to get a word in. He's still going in.
Sometimes you try to get a word in is an insult.
So maybe I shouldn't even say nothing at all. Or maybe I should just get my ass up and let somebody else sit here. Maybe I'll start letting that happen from now on. Yeah.
Ain't that a motherfucker?
Maybe I'll just go work out, do something else.
Ain't half bad.
Yeah. So we'll see that Wednesday. We'll see that Wednesday.
No, I ain't gonna lie. Sometimes I be cooking, And you'd be like, bruh, and it'd be don't make no sense. And I just get mad. I just want to kill you.
I do too. Especially when I'm trying to say
I'll
something.
really be cooking some shit. I'm in my shit. And you'll say, and yeah, man, Warner Brothers, they're gay too. And you would hope that I didn't have laser vision, because I swear in that moment without thinking, bing, I'll Homelander the shit. I'll lobotomize you, nigga.
I'm just keeping it a stack. I'm not sitting here just to sit here and be quiet. If I'm gonna sit here and be quiet, I'm gonna be sitting here.
I feel what you're saying. It's not.
It's like, what is the point of me being here?
No.
If that's the case, because there's no point in me sitting.
It's not about that. I want you here.
I
want you to speak. It's just I want you to speak at a certain time. That's the only thing. You know, when I'm Chef Currying and I'm, what's that shit? Benihana. And you go and throw some shit on my stick. What the freak? We want to kill you, bro. So I understand what gets Keon upset. But yeah, that was the predictions. That was the JODYDAMUS, and then here we are. But there's an opposite side to this. You know, let me go ahead and before we open up the phone lines and talk to you guys can talk to me. This Shogun is showing me the other side that people are upset about this deal going through. Here's one of them. The Ellisons now own basically all media. An ultra-Zionist, pro-IDF funding, MAGA-pushing family are about to own everything from TikTok to CNN. We are effed, man. All right, listen. Sometimes people who are radical political nut jobs, they'll take something and they can apply radical political nut job stuff to it to make it different. This deal really is not about politics. It's definitely about an agenda, because that's what Hollywood has been for the last some odd years. This deal you're complaining about, a much bigger one happened a few years ago, but you're not saying shit about it then. I know why you're mad. You're a anti-Jewish, anti-Trump weirdo, and now you're using this deal to be against it for political reasons. But I'm for this deal for non-political reasons, because once again, it's Netflix, right? And this is the problem I have with Netflix. Netflix politicized the hell out of our society.
All the time.
All the agenda that they put in their movies, it's freaking ridiculous. It's ridiculous, and that's why people like you are upset. So, like, I'm sorry. I don't care about Zionism. I don't care about what Jews feel. I don't care about what the IDF. I don't care about what MAGA feel. Freak all of that. I care about the quality of the movies that I watch. I care about the content that my children see on the television. And I'll be honest with you. Let me dive into MAGA. Pretend I'm a Trump supporter for a second. Let's play this game. If I want MAGA to take over Hollywood, is that so bad? Because what does it mean to MAGA Hollywood? To bring tradition back, where the action hero is a white man, where women are damsels and are sexy again, and want to be saved by the main hero? Sounds good to me. Where action movies are cool again, where masculinity is restored, where the family dynamic of having man, wife, kids, or having a hot chick at the end, where maybe the bad guy might look like a terrorist and we kill the hell out of him. I'm sorry. That is, I would trade that. I wouldn't trade that for what we have now, where the woman's a man, the white guy is a sissy, a gay dude. The black man is the smart, cool guy in the back. There's an LGBTQ gay best friend and gay auntie. There's a trans neighbor, and there's a bunch of Asians, and they all eat together and shit, and little children. And nigga, miss me with that shit, bro. I'd rather traditional films reinstitute themselves into Hollywood. I liked Hollywood 20 years ago versus today. And in fact, movies back in that MAGA Trump traditional era were very much better than the ones of the last 30 years. Let's take 20 years to 20 years. Let's put the new 20 up against the old 20. 2005 and up versus, what's that, 1985 and up. So movies between 1985 and 2005 are going head up against movies from 2000. So 1985 to 2005. And then let's do 2006 to 2026. I'm sorry. It's not 2025 no more. So 1986 to 2006 versus, because they're going to share the same year. Let's do 1985 to 2025. Then 2006 to 2026. Who wins? You got a plethora of great movies being released on a daily, on a monthly from 1980s. You don't even want to fight that battle, bro. You don't even want to start to name movies from 1986 to 2005, bro. We're not even going to do that. There's some hitters between 2006 and now. Yeah. Not enough. Not great enough. Not enough. Need more of them. So, like, why is it that movies have gone down in quality? The classic movies are few and far in between. It's because of this type of stuff that Netflix was doing. That's why. That's why. It's simple as that. And that's why I'm this ultra Zionist, that political shit. You're just I call you guys political retards, because when you guys get into politics, you guys lose logic because you're emotional bias to mentioning this stuff. Also, there is another person here. One Jewish Zionist family, the largest private donors to the IDF, will now control all of this. This is a massive problem. You don't think the Jews own Disney? You don't think the Jews own it Fox?
Oh my God!
Put me back in.
The Jews dead yet?
Yeah. Once again, I'm looking at Fox and I'm looking at Disney. I'm looking at that merger. I'm looking at the things that they have done. So these people that are speaking on this are just political nut jobs. They don't know about how Hollywood works. They're just speaking out to have their political war, which means nothing here, and it means nothing to Hollywood. You guys don't really matter. But there is a crew right here that I'm very happy is salty. Zack Snyder's come out and said